Hello and welcome all of you in today's daily news analysis. आज का जो हिंदू आर्टिकल है, there are two articles. The first is Quality Gigs, a solution to urban employment, and second article is on the FATF India Pakistan black and grey. So let's discuss about this article. I need just 10 minutes of yours, and let's focus. This is a very important article related to economics, and this relates to issues of employment, which is a part of GS Paper 3. Now, this article talks about quality gigs. Now, what is gigs? Gigs is basically short-term, maybe employment. So, unlike a regular employment where there is security, gigs does not talk about that. It is mainly a short-term with decent remuneration and security employment. Because economy is moving in a different direction. It is getting a good permanent job with good social security is something which is a challenge right now in recent time. So gig is a new concept. Now, Indian economy has gradually recovered after contraction of negative of 24% in first quarter. You already know that in the first quarter, economy was negative and we were able to overcome that. In the second quarter, the revival happened, which the growth up to minus 7.5. And quarter 3, we might be in positive territory. So positive territory में जा सकते हैं. But the question comes in about what is the nature of employment in India. Now, there has been a slowdown in employment recovery from the month of July. Now, after the lockdown was over, the recovery started happening in the area of employment. But if you see the recent data, the latest number point out the sharp rise in national unemployment rate from 6.51 to 9.06. Yani unemployment increase from November to December, the last 2 months. So that is a big concern. Now coming to Manrega. Now wage employment, Manrega is a wage employment which provides 100 days of work for unskilled laborers. Now when the pandemic struck, government ने क्या किया? Manrega का budget बढ़ा दिया. And if you see, there was an increase in 243% increase in the Manrega, person work days. That means Manrega became very famous. The reverse pandemic induced reverse migration jo hua. So that led to that people moving to villages and Manrega became a savior. Now increased dependency on Manrega has seen a rural development ministry spend 90% of increase allocation by the month of November. That means jo Manrega ka paisa tha November tak 90% already spent ho chuka tha. And in spite of that, we were not able to meet the demand, where 13% demand was not met, which was equivalent to 75 million households. अब देखिए जो मनरेगा का person work days है वो भी बढ़ा, and the demand is still not met. But that means there is still huge demand of Manrega. Now, coming to the aspect of gig economy, there were some metrics used, and there is a report of Fair Work Foundation annual review platform, and that evaluated 11 digital platforms. 11 digital platforms को उन्होंने evaluate किया, because these platforms are gig workers, and these gig workers were evaluated on 11 platforms on 5 metrics of fair play, fair condition, fair contract, fair management, and fair representation. Only 2 firms, that is Urban Company and Flipkart, scored more than 5, and others scored 2 and less. That means even the so-called good firms, they could not do well in terms of the metrics of good job. So that is a very concerning thing, because the bottom of the ranks were by 4 largest platform giants, the Uber, Ola, and Swiggy and Zomato. So you can understand that even the gig economy does not provide a stable, or maybe at least kind of security or fair play, pay and conditions are there. So the 5 metrics hai, uspe, these companies are still not at good level. Now, what is the way forward? Now, one problem is that the regulation has been weak, has been lax. So we need to focus on evaluation, regulating, and supporting new forms of employment. And there has to be a kind of informal safety net that needs to be created along with the job. Now here the article says that one viable strategy जो हम कर सकते हैं, it's the conditional government platform partnership with the platforms. यानी government के जो schemes है उसमें आप platform के साथ collaborate करिए with some of the flagship schemes. Now, what does it mean? It means recently there was a pilot project of Swiggy, and here street food vendors program under PM Swanidhi or PM Street Vendor Atmanirbhar Nidhi scheme collaborate with Swiggy, and many the street vendors were listed on Swiggy, and that became a good example that how these people got recognition. So we can create simultaneously, we can use other platforms, and government support can be there. So that is a mutually beneficial partnership which can happen between state and the platform. And here you can create jobs and incentivize with the level of compliance. Now remember, जब government किसी platform से collaborate करती है, that means that it will create opportunities for those people. At the same time, government should also ensure that there is a high degree of compliance. Compliance means legal rules, regulation, the working condition and all. So collaboration would require labor platform to comply with disclosure norms, worker compensation standards, to access government support, and that is a way in which government can ensure employment, and there can be control on these companies also. The current proposal for urban employment guarantee pegs daily work wages at 300 crore for 1 lakh crore to the exchequer. So एक proposal ये भी था that like Manrega, why don't we create an urban job program? And as per this estimation, 1 lakh crore will be needed, which is not possible in the current context, but yes. Collaborating with platform to employ workers would not only bring down the cost significantly, but it will also create an environment where firms are more likely to cooperate with state. So the idea, what the article says, that we can collaborate with platforms, government can collaborate and can provide employment to these people, but at the same time, the companies have to follow the standards in terms of the quality norms. So there is a huge symbiotic relationship is needed. Now, current problem is that limited fiscal space. Government ka revenues kam hai, and there's a growing need to fuel country's consumption base. Must push the government to build symbiotic relationship with new partners. So such platform like what PM Swanidhi did with the Swiggy workers, we can maybe other digital platform can also collaborate. With Industry 4.0 absorbing increasing number of urban workforce, evaluation and collaboration regulation must be the government's mantra. As the pandemic forces redefine its own understanding, future kya hai? The future is defined only by the quantity of not only by the quality of job, but the quality of job as well. So we should create not only the number of job, but quality is the key. At the same time, it is important that government should become a stakeholder in creating such mechanism for future. That is a very wonderful article, and I think it can be used in the mains, GS paper mains on the questions of unemployment. The second is black and gray on Pakistan's action against terrorists. So GS3 internal security, GS2 important national institutions. Now, what has happened that recently Pakistan has arrested Zakirur Rahman Lakhvi, one of the elite operatives who was involved in Mumbai attacks, just ahead of the FATF meet. FATF is a financial action task force, and it puts a pressure on the countries that any support to terrorist organization will bring a lot of sanctions on the so-called country. So Pakistan already जो है at a lower level gray list में पहुंच गया है, and if Pakistan does not comply, it might face the same status, or it might go down to the black status. So black list status में जा सकता है, but Pakistan has come up with this decision just to show that it is trying to comply with FATF. Now, past record and current situation. Coming to the past record, Pakistan has a poor track record. They were brought in grey list in 2018, and out of 27 point action to be completed, still 21 out of 27 points में ही जो है compliance नहीं हुआ है, and they have got reprieve also with 6 outstanding. So the point I want to make here is that the Pakistan is still under grey list and it has to work. Plenary session of FATF can choose one of the following 3 options. क्या हो सकता है? That अभी जो मीटिंग होगा तो जो भी पाकिस्तान ने डिसीजंस लिए हैं उस पे, the Pakistan can be in grey list subject to financial restrictions. That means जो जहां status quo रहेगा, or not complying many of the provisions might downgrade to blacklist, or close the review and let Pakistan off the list altogether. यानी आप पाकिस्तान को लिस्ट से बाहर निकाल दीजिए, which I believe is a least likelihood. So we'll have to see how things go. Now, what is a way forward? Pakistan's court decision to overturn conviction of Al-Qaeda leader Ahmed Omar Sheikh Saeed, a terrorist who was involved in hijacking of the Indian plane IC-814. It shows that how investigating agencies and judicial system treat terrorism. They have been very lax in putting these people behind bar, controlling them. Others like Masood Azhar continue to avoid all kind of prosecution despite UN sanction. Yani Masood Azhar, Azhar ho, ya fir all these people, they, in spite of all the pressure international, they're still evading arrest. So for India and its battle to have Pakistan established, held accountable in this issue, FATL gay listing is now necessary lever to keep the process going. That means India should forcefully ensure that the pressure is maintained on Pakistan. So that is a way forward for this article. So that is all I believe. There are two articles, the two questions of mains marathon. So one is on PM Bani, and the second one is of course Manrega. So you can attempt them.